Back-to-back editions of 100% Canucks. John Shannon and Landon Ferraro after a great talk with Brendan Morrison yesterday. Drew O'Connor will join us a little later. Landon, this time of year, what the Canucks have to look forward to is being a spoiler. You know, they've had Nashville coming to town. It's an opportunity to kind of deflect what the Predators are trying to do, which is get a wild card spot in the Western Conference. In a room, at any point, does that become a discussion? Is there a motivation? Hey, we can derail these guys?
Yeah, you definitely, it comes up while you're, messing around talking in the room too of, because you can't use that as a team motivator every game, but there's generally one guy has some reason that he'd really like to beat that one team. And that's where, again, like, you got to have a close team, even though you're going through a bunch. Like, that's where culture and playing for each other gets established, right? Like, and half the time you're making it up just to make up a reason. Like, oh yeah, that guy took a run at me in junior 7 years ago. And, guys have a chuckle like, oh, we got to go get him back. Like, you got to create some of that fun energy to go out and play spoiler. You got to play up scenarios in your head and really focus on that. And then the other part of it is, looking at it individually through the rest of the year, right? And it's so different than other years where, you're fighting for a playoff spot and your coaches and development team are working with you, but knowing there's more important things coming and we're kind of focusing on that. Right now, what your end date is for the season. Like for the development team working with players, they don't have to think about, okay, we're going to work on this and the end date is the end of the season. It's no, we can work on things and let them build into summer. Like, make sure they're in a good spot heading into summer training and all of that to focus on next year. There's so much to focus on right now, even though you think that the season's a lost one.
This may not be a fair question, but of the young guys on this club, which hopefully is the future, do you see anyone, or does anyone jump out at you that has some positive leadership skills? Somebody who you think can be a guy inside that room to have a big voice?
To be honest, right now, I'd have a tough time fully saying it. I haven't been around them enough to really put my stamp on it, but just seeing, something as little as, I go to the Dice and Ice event here, raising money for the Canucks for Kids Fund. Mm-hmm. And, the rookies got to do their lip sync battles and, like, just seeing who can even come out in that situation and kind of take the forefront, knowing that the other guys might not really want to be doing it, right? Like, Abuyam is someone that has that big personality, but has the game and the skill that, you're hoping is going to be able to back that up because his ceiling looks like it's high. And he had a pretty good game the other night of getting back to rushing the puck and trying to create some offense. He's someone in there, but you also look like a Linus Karlsson. It's different. He's 26, right? He's a bit older, but still is fully in with that young group because he's been in Abbotsford and all of that. So he's the perfect mold between, the middle-aged guy of a team and can fit in with the young guys. There's lots of them, but it's one of those things that you can't focus on trying to be a leader. Like, it's either in you or it's not. Obviously, you can pick up things from other veterans that you like or even you don't like, and you'd like to try and angle things a different way when you're in charge. But at the end of the day, there's always guys that want the letter, and you can feel them kind of pushing to try and make sure he's known as that guy. And then there's just the guy that walks in the room and everyone looks and everyone just knows to follow.
And that's basically because of what he does on the ice, or there's a presence in the room?
I mean, there's definitely like the on the ice stuff, and especially now where it's not like a even when I was, going into the Bantam draft, like I knew the other guys' names that were up at the top of the draft, but I
Right.
hadn't
Right.
seen them. Now, yeah, the play on ice would definitely play into it for sure, but it's just like it's the aura of a guy walking in, the way that he carries himself. Like for me, it's, like a Nick Lidstrom, a Henrik Zetterberg, were the guys that I were around when I was young. And those are two pretty good ones to look
Yeah,
at.
not bad.
But at the same time, they're now never the loudest guy. They're never in the middle of everything. They go about their business. They're calm, collected. And when things would happen, those are the guys you look to because you knew that, of course, Nick was going to have his stuff together. But, for me, it was more Zetterberg because Lidstrom was gone as I actually got to play there. And just the way that you knew that he was prepared, you knew that if you were following him and doing what he was doing, you were putting yourself in a decent spot to succeed too.
And then, Drew O'Connor is going to join us in a couple of minutes. Okay, what kind of season has he had? It's difficult to say anybody's had a great season in Vancouver when you consider where they are in the standings. But what's the upside of Drew O'Connor?
Well, I'd start by saying, as much as it's hard to say anyone's had a good season in Vancouver, he'd easily be the one that you could fight for in that debate, right? He's one goal off his career high of 16. He's already at 15 with, I think, what is it, 18 games left. For him, it's straight lines. It's a really good skater. He's got good size and strength, but he plays a very basic, simple game. He's got hands and can make plays, but he's never looking to make the fancy play. He wants to chip it by and use his speed. He wants to go grind. And when you have a team that has been as rocky as it's been since he got traded here, like the skill guys are the ones that generally have a hard time when things kind of go to crap a bit. And, for him, he's a hard worker and he just keeps pushing. He's good on the PK. So, he's had a pretty solid year here. And that's something I'm really excited to ask him about is, you were traded here and dropped into let's call it a bit of a mess of a locker room last year. And yet you've been able to come through summer, all of that, and really put together a good year here. Like, how do you stay focused through that? I'm interested to see what he says.
Okay, you can ask him the hard questions. I'm just going to ask him what cheat food he had and what his dog's name is. That's all.
There you go.
I mean, we all have assigned jobs on this podcast.
He looks like a guy that would be a dog guy. He's another one of those, like we were talking, William walks around with a big smile. Drew O'Connor walking around the rink seems like he knows he's got a great job and he loves it. He's in a good mood a lot of days.
And he's got a dog.
I'm guessing he does.
Now we have to ask him. Now we have to ask him for sure.
Don't even say hi. Just ask it right off the hop.
Okay. I will. I will do that.
I know you will.
That's Drew O'Connor's going to join us with Landon and John on this edition of 100% Canucks.
I won't keep you long. Darren Millard with a tip for everyone who loves great hockey podcasts like this one. John Shannon and I host the OG of 100% Hockey, coming your way multiple times a week. The guest list is the best you will find. Multiple shows a week ensures you won't miss out on any news, and we dig even deeper into the biggest stories around the NHL. Most of our guests are also friends, so I promise there'll be more conversation beyond the X's and the O's. John really does get bored with that after a while. So join us for 100% Hockey. The name says it all. Subscribe now while you enjoy thinking about it, and enjoy.
Welcome back, 100% Canucks. Drew O'Connor's the guest. Okay, Drew, I was dared to ask you the most important question right off the top. You ready?
Okay.
Do you have a dog?
That's the most. No, I don't have a dog. I would like to get one.
Okay.
At some point. I didn't realize that was a pressing matter, but yeah, I would like to get one. Honestly, it's the hardest part is like I don't want to have to bring it back and forth from Vancouver to the East Coast every season. It's kind of a long way I would feel bad and when we go on the road, it's kind of tough to find
you must skip over.
By the way, the only reason I had to ask it was that apparently I asked the really hard questions like what's your cheat food and do you have a dog? Landon asks all the hockey questions.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that's a good
it's not even
balance.
that. It's the excitement he gets if a guy brings up the dog. But you must just, hey, Drew, you must just skip over the first part of 100% Canucks every episode as you listen.
Yeah.
We need to grow the subscriber base. We need all 23 guys on the roster to listen and watch.
I didn't want to give anything away. I wanted to come in with a fresh perspective.
Oh, that's perfect. So like you just said, you're from the East Coast, and like just going through your teams, and you're playing in New Jersey, and you go to Boston to play for the Junior Bruins your year before going to college. What got you to that decision? How'd you end up there?
So I committed to Dartmouth the year before that. I was playing for the Avalanche that year in New Jersey, U18, and I knew I was only going to play 1 year of juniors kind of before going into college. So we talked about it a little bit with the coaching staff at Dartmouth, with, my family, things like that, and tried to come up with the right decision. But for me, like I just wanted to go somewhere I knew I was going to play. And, I feel like if I had gone to the USHL camp or something and tried to make that work, who knows what really would have happened. You're only there a year. I didn't really know what that situation would be. And I felt like with the Junior Bruins, it was going to be a good situation for me just to play a ton, work on my game, and just get ready for that first year of college.
We talk about going and playing college hockey, and everybody in BC's talking about Gavin McKenna right now. So there's a guy that left junior to go play in NCAA hockey. Is playing at a big college program as challenging as you'd say junior hockey would be?
Yeah, I think the schedule is a lot different. Like, obviously the grind of the junior schedule is a lot more comparable to a pro schedule where you're playing, 80 games, but or however many games it is. But right. Yeah, for me, it's hard to say exactly. Like, I didn't play major junior, so I can't speak to it 100%. But I felt like the college schedule gives you a ton of time just to practice, work on your game, and when the weekend comes, those games are a war. They're a battle because you only play 2 games a week, so it's kind of all out. And I feel like it was just a ton of fun playing in that atmosphere.
But when you went to Dartmouth, you were one of the younger guys. There were guys a lot older than you playing, right? And that's the challenge?
I'd say so. Yeah. I think, I was 19, I think, as a freshman, and you're playing against some 25-year-olds, and especially, like you said, you mentioned a guy like Gavin McKenna. He's 17 and he's playing against 25-year-olds. So I think that part of it, the physicality is a bit more of an adjustment maybe for some younger guys.
So you have your 2 years there, and point wise, like, they go really well. You get you have 30 goals in the 2 years, and like 65 points in 80 games. COVID hits. Is that a big factor of why you signed? You're undrafted as well, or did that opportunity come and you were already debating that before COVID hit in, what was it, March or whatever it was of that year?
Yeah, it was. So I was actually already decided by that point. We had lost in the first round of playoffs that year, and it's funny. Like, I think I signed the next day maybe with Pittsburgh, but it was like 3 or 4 days later when it was like the second round of all the playoffs just got canceled. Like, everything shut down. And even then, like, if I hadn't made the decision by that point, I probably still would have, like, if I had decided to go back to school, I probably would have stuck with it, because it wasn't until, like that summer, I think, that we realized, like, season's going to be delayed. Like, it's not going to happen. So it was just a long time of kind of waiting around during that time period. I think it was like 8 months of whatever. Like, I didn't get to go to the bubble and play, because I signed a PTO to finish the year in Wilkes-Barre, and then my entry level was going to start the following season, so I wasn't eligible to play in the bubble. So it was just kind of a waiting game, kind of, trying to find ways to continue to work on my game and things like that in that time period.
So did you? For a Canadian kid, being drafted is part of the magic. When you have a dream of playing in the NHL, where did that fit into your system when you consider that, as you said, you were a freshman already at 19?
Yeah, getting drafted wasn't even really on my radar, to be honest. Like, it wasn't like it wasn't like, oh, I was passed over. Like it was just not something I even thought about. I was just kind of focused on trying to play in college and get to a good college and play there. And it wasn't really until I got there that I realized professional hockey might be a possibility.
Did you promise your parents you'd finish your degree though at some point?
I did make that promise. I was able to finish 2 summers ago, so it was nice to get that done. Yeah.
You actually got that done pretty quick. Like it's usually 10 years plus for guys to get through the last couple of years of that.
Yeah, it would have been. But with COVID, I just did it. I just did it online. So
there you go.
I kind of lucked out in a couple of ways with that. I would still be grinding away.
But so again, like, COVID hits and at that time, like you said, like, everyone was kind of excited for like a couple weeks or a month of calling it vacation at that point, and then everything obviously extends. But like that's such a weird year to turn pro. You end up playing games in Norway, you play in the American League, and you play games in the NHL. I'm gonna go ahead and guarantee that you didn't plan on playing games in Norway when you signed your first year of professional to go play hockey, right?
No, yeah. I mean, I definitely didn't think I was going to be making my pro debut in Norway, but it was like, I mean, I was doing the same thing over and over again every day for months. I was like, I just wanted an opportunity to play some games somewhere. Like it didn't really matter to me what it was. I was just like, I just want to play. So that opportunity came up. I mean, it was fun to go over there and play. It was a cool experience, but at the same time, I think I was over there. I was checking my phone every day, like looking for the updates from someone, like when's this starting up? Like when are we getting back? I was just itching to kind of get home and get to my first NHL camp and get started. So I'm glad I did that though. It was cool to go over there for a bit.
So what was it like to walk into the Penguins room and see Sid Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, Christopher Letang in the room with you?
Pretty crazy. Like it's hard to describe like the first feeling. Like I was never really around like NHL teams. Like I didn't really go to any camps before then. I'd been to one development camp with the Bruins, but being undrafted and not really having any experience, like all of it was so new to me. So walking into a locker room and seeing those guys, it was like I've only ever seen you guys on TV. Like it's crazy to be kind of standing next to you. And but they were so great. Like all of them were, like especially Sid, like so welcoming, and he's so good with kind of getting everyone involved and incorporating everyone into the team right away. So it was kind of an easy transition, I guess.
Did you get a slice of banana cake?
I did, yeah. He makes a hell of a banana bread. Yeah, I got that early on. I got that. I got some. He made me some spaghetti and meatballs one time. So yeah, he's pretty good chef.
That's such an interesting like thing that you just brought up there, though, of because you didn't have training camps or development camps to go to. Like as you were talking, I just thought back, like I went out and crapped my pants my first training camp with Lidstrom and Datsuk and Zetterberg and all these guys, but I got to do that at 18. And knowing I'm going back to junior, and by the time I was turning pro, I was comfortable in a sense. Not comfortable, but right. For you to have to step into that with those legends there, and like that is a really different thing. Like how long did it take you, even though you said they do a good job, how long does it take you to really feel like you could say he's my teammate and not just I'm just here?
I think you're spot on 100%. Like I think it takes a few camps probably to get used to it. Like I think for me, like that whole first year, I was just like so nervous. Like everywhere I went, I was like, I don't want to say anything. I don't want to look at any. Like I was just so nervous, kind of the whole season. And I think it was kind of probably my second season I went in and had a pretty good training camp and good preseason. I think by that point I started to feel a little bit maybe like you said, like maybe like, oh, we're kind of teammates now. But I think like it probably took that full year to kind of get to that point.
Hey, actually, we jumped across something, and Landon reminded me because Landon had a jump start on all of us because his dad played in the NHL for like it felt like about 30 years. And so
if you ask him, that's what he'd say too.
Yeah, well, yeah. and and then he talked for 30 more. So, so the introduction to the game was pretty easy for Landon. How's a kid from New Jersey, if that's where you were playing, how did you get involved in the game? Was this somebody pushing you? Did you push your parents? How did it work?
Yeah, my dad loved hockey.
Well, Ranger fan, Flyer fan, Devils fan.
No, he was Rangers for a while. I think he switched over to the Devils eventually, but yeah, he always loved hockey. He got my brother into it, my older brother, and basically I was kind of tagging along to the rink, and I loved watching. Like, I was just begging them to get on the ice. So I think it was kind of through that connection but we had a lot of good players in New Jersey. Like, we had some good teams. My dad coached my New Jersey Colonials teams for years, and we had a lot of good players I played with, and we won a national championship at 12U. So I think, like, people don't really know that there's a ton of hockey in New Jersey. I think it's growing, but at the time we had a lot of good players.
Are you good there? Can we jump back?
Yeah, go ahead.
Back
Yeah,
no, it was good. I didn't know if you're done with it, though.
Yeah, no,
I just want to make sure, John.
No, this is what Drew. I get this all the time because Landon, he thinks he's the editorial control of the podcast.
Is that right?
It's unbelievable. Oh, yeah.
He actually knows what he's doing. I just pretend to. But so, you get through your first year. You're now saying in that training camp, you're kind of feeling more comfortable there now. Well, you end up in a bit of time after that, you end up coming to Vancouver. You get dropped in a situation that I think it's fair to say, a bit of a mess last year. Yet you get through that, you get through the summer, and now you're one goal off your career high in goals of 16. You've been one of the most consistent players. You're one of 3 that's +1 on a team that's given up a lot of goals. How do you stay focused and keep, I don't want to say improving, but taking steps, I guess, yeah?
Yeah, well, I just think that you can never really be comfortable. Like, there's always, this is the NHL, like, you have to bring it every night. Like, there's always people coming for your job, kind of from everywhere. So I think on a personal level, it's easy to find motivation. I think from a team perspective, I think we're still, like, even though we're where we are in the standings, like, we're still playing for something every night. We're trying to build something here now at this point. So I think we're trying to kind of build a winning culture, and whether that means that might not mean we win every night down the stretch, but we're going to try to compete in games and give ourselves the best chance to kind of stay in games. So I think just from those two perspectives of there's, obviously personally there's things to play for, and as a team and as a culture, we're trying to kind of build that.
Back to the trade. Did it help to have a teammate come with you?
Yeah, it did.
And then on top of that, that was the first time you'd been traded. So the reality of being a pro. So those two questions for you.
Yeah, with Marcus coming here was great. Like that, especially the first month or so, just because we were kind of in a similar boat with, we're in a new situation, all the way across the country, different country. So it was nice having him, and we just kind of hung out a bunch that first month or so, just going to dinners and exploring the city a bit. And yeah, with the trade, like, I kind of knew it was a possibility that year. It was actually nice. It happened in February, which was, it made it a little easier because it wasn't like I was approaching the deadline for the last few weeks, kind of, oh, where am I going to go? What's going to happen? It kind of happened randomly one night. So that part made it easier. But yeah, that was kind of the first, that whole kind of season, I was kind of thinking it could happen. So that was definitely a difficult process that year. But yeah, glad of where I ended up for sure.
You can't think that you were being traded last week, were you? Or were you going through a few ups and downs last week, wondering about the deadline?
No, I mean, who knows? Like, I feel like the situation we're in, you don't really know what's going to happen. So I feel like kind of anything's on the table. But yeah, I wasn't really thinking about it too much, I would say.
And, once trade deadline goes by, because, I've been on a lot of bad teams too, and the trade deadline means a lot more on those teams than it does for a contender where you're like, we're looking to add one person. right? And so it's a lot of stress. You're trying to get through it. You're still playing. It happens, and you guys have had some really good efforts coming out of it. Like, could you feel just the like almost release of stress in a sense, or just the not knowing?
I think there was probably a lot of relief after the deadline. I think you could probably see it that first game in Chicago that night. Like, I feel like it was one of our better games in a while, um, and we lost. We lost some really good players that have been here a while and that have meant a lot to the organization. So it's tough. Like, it's not easy losing those guys. And at the same time, it's a relief that we know our group for the rest of the season, I think, and we're trying to kind of stick together at this point. And yeah, it definitely doesn't say anything about those guys we lost. Obviously, like they were huge for our team, and sucks seeing them go. But hopefully, they have some good opportunities to play in the playoffs now, and hopefully, do well. So yeah, it's always tough seeing those guys go. But yeah, like you said, I think that relief was a real feeling that we had for sure.
Are you the fastest skater on the team, you think?
I don't know. You want us to go goal line to goal line?
Yeah.
A little race. I don't know. Don't they have all the stats? I have to take a look and see what they.
Well, who would be faster than you?
I feel like Jake can get motoring. Who else can move?
Jake's got the shorter strides, though.
Yeah,
I think that's where he's fooling you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it always looks like you're moving a little faster than you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Maybe Sass. Sass can really fly. He gets moving up the middle of the ice. But yeah, I have to take a look. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd be wanting to know that. I'd want to know who. But mind you, NHL Edge, they can tell you that now, can't they? You can go on the website and tell you who, how fast your fastest burst was and all that kind of thing. So do you use analytics? Do you use stats in any of your stuff to get better?
I wouldn't say a ton of analytics. Like, I try to do a lot of video and use a video coach that's helped me a ton. So I would say
working on what?
Just a lot of like. I work with him in the summer too. And it's nice because we have the platform that he posts kind of our videos on, and he works with a lot of guys throughout the league. So we use the platform and he'll post stuff that he kind of sees every night of, it's a lot of things like puck touches and how guys are using their sticks and, making a lot of plays on your backhand, picking up rims, things like that, it's kind of tedious work in the summer, but it's things that you work on over and over again. You get a lot better at, and you see that the best players in the game, that's the kind of stuff they're working on. And that's why they make the hard plays look effortless, because they work on those things so much.
Has something that you've worked on over the past, like since you've got here, even in through last summer, is one of those things like on the walls and really seeing the play behind you before the puck comes and then being able to make the play quick? Because I swear, just in the past, calendar year, call it now, like you're making plays quicker off of puck pickups than you did in the past. And do you feel that, or is that something you've really worked on?
It's something I've worked on. Yeah. So I think, part of what I was talking about with what we work on, and a big part of it is kind of scanning the ice and knowing kind of what's around before you get the puck, kind of like you mentioned. So, I think for me, especially like when I'm getting a rim down low or something, I kind of want to know what's there. And then I don't want to panic when I get the puck. I want to be able to hold it, kind of hold guys off, and then kind of know where I want to go and where that next play might be before I even get the puck. So, no, I appreciate that. But it's definitely something that I've worked on.
Have you been working with the same person back home for a long time, or do you kind of bounce around? How do you go?
Yeah, we've worked together. So his name's Jonathan Siglet. So we've worked together for, I'd say the last 3 or 4 years. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So he's helped me a ton. And it's nice now. Like we're both based in Boston in the summer, so I can hop on the ice with him a ton in the summer, and it's really nice because like I see all the stuff throughout the season. I know exactly what he's talking about because it's stuff we've worked on a ton throughout the summer, and then I can kind of work on some of those drills out here too.
So, okay, so you come back from the Olympic break. You have 7 days of practices with the crew. You watch the Olympic tournament, I assume.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw a few of the games, yeah.
And you're rubbing it into the Swedes and the Canadians that the Americans won?
No, not exactly. I mean, we had a couple wagers going on, but nothing crazy. But yeah, it was cool to see them win. Like it's been a long time for USA Hockey, but yeah, that was such a fun game, that final game, and I had to go back and watch it. I didn't wake up for it. I didn't get up for the 5 a.m. I was up for the overtime, and then I rewatched it later on. But it was pretty cool moment for USA Hockey.
Well, I couldn't help but think that in the semifinal game, when Sid went down, somebody like you would probably be disappointed to see Sid not be able to play, because I'm sure he has taught you a lot about how to work off the ice and on the ice, correct?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, his work ethics, it's everything that people say it is, and more probably. But it really sucked to see him. Like, I know that's something he was looking forward to for a while, and I'm sure it killed him not to be able to play in the final. And it definitely would have been nice to have him in that game.
Now, you played the World Championships last year?
I did, yeah.
And are you hoping for another invite?
Yeah, I mean, it's something I'll have to think about. I think going into this year, just with, I've played a lot of games this season, and it's been kind of a tough schedule with the grind of it. So it's something I'll think about, I think. But yeah, we'll just kind of see how I feel at the end of the season. I
tell you what, that was you talk about 46 years in the Olympic gold. You're part of a team that was 92 years for the World Championships.
I know. It's crazy to think. Like, I don't know how that happened. Like, I feel like they've sent some good teams over, and I don't know what. It was just a curse, I think. Like,
you'd think they'd stumble into one.
That's what I mean. It wasn't even couldn't even get into the gold medal game for the last 50 years, I think. Something crazy. So yeah, it was pretty cool to get that though. That was a fun tournament.
You did bring up games played and condensed and all that. Leading into next year, like, you're one of the few guys that actually knows what 84 games in a season feels like, right? Like, you played it last year. You played, the games in New York, and then you got the couple extra here. Do you think that's going to matter at all, or especially after this season where it was so tight, next year is going to feel like you got space all over the place?
I don't know. Like, I have a hard time feeling that 2 extra games, you're really going to notice it that much, right? Like, it's 82 games that we play right now. I didn't really notice it last year when I played 84. So I don't think it's a huge deal. I think cutting down on the camp and the preseason was the right move if they were going to add the extra ones in, because I think the overall wear and tear is probably going to be about the same now with that limited camp. And so yeah, honestly, I don't think it's something we'll notice too much, despite what some guys might say.
Well, the schedule's going to start in September though, Drew. So it's going to be spread out a little bit more.
Right.
So it's not going to be near as, I mean, this taxing, what are you guys? So since the Olympic break, you basically play every second day for 6 weeks. That's a tough schedule.
Yeah, I think that's the tougher part than the overall games played. I think it's the back-to-backs, the 3 and 4s. I think that's what wears you down more than anything. If we play 84 games, but it's spread out over a longer stretch, and we have 3 games a week instead of 4, I think that's the biggest difference.
And based on what you talked about at going to Dartmouth, would you rather play games or have that extra day of practice?
I like playing the games. I mean, like, we're in season. Like, I'm just kind of itching for game days every practice day. It's kind of what we're just looking forward to. So, yeah, I honestly don't mind the extra games.
The extra practice is fine when you're a bit younger. You get older, like, can we the games? I just want to get to the games.
Hey, I have socks older than Drew, so don't. I mean, seriously, come on.
I don't have a hard time believing that, John.
Well, it's true. Okay, the second most important question: what's your cheat food?
Oh, I love dessert. Like I can't help myself if I see.
Oh,
dessert.
were you part of Garland's ice cream patrol? Were you part of that?
No, like not huge on ice cream. Like I'll definitely eat it, but I like if out to dinner, like I'm getting a chocolate cake or a cookie or something. I can't help like, and I try to not get anything around the house because I'll just eat it all. So, but I would say dessert's my kryptonite.
Oh, here's a question for you then. You're on the team plane. I'm assuming you guys have after the meal and stuff, they walk around with the warm cookie. Do you count that as a dessert, or is that just like it's something while you're talking? You don't even count
No. Anything in the air doesn't count. Those are real calories, you know?
Anything in the air is refueling.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
You know, all I know is all the years that I was on the charters, it was a lot tougher on me because I hadn't burned 2,500 calories during the day playing a game.
Right.
I was just being a TV guy, and all I did see I put weight on, and all the guys around me, the players were all losing weight, and I never understood it.
Yeah, no, I know. Like I always say that, like I don't think I could ever work for a team as staff or anything because the amount of food that's around, and you're not burning it off. Like it's everywhere. And
yeah,
I can't help myself. I'd be eating it all anyway. So yeah, it wouldn't be good.
So you said you and Marcus were you took that month to get to know Vancouver a little more. British Columbians are fascinating people. They love their city. What do you like about Vancouver? And forget about the arena. Forget about that. What away from Rogers, away from your condo? What do you do?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed living here. Like I think it's super walkable. Like I walk a lot of places. I love going over to Yaletown and kind of walking around there, and checking out Gastown and places like that has been cool. So I don't really venture too much outside of downtown. Like I live downtown, so it's been pretty cool kind of seeing the city around here. And I know there's a lot to do outside the city too. Checking out some of the places like the Suspension Bridge and things like that have been cool. But yeah, I've really enjoyed living out here.
Is there a difference between playing in the United States and playing in Canada?
I don't notice a huge difference. I think their fans are a little more engaged here maybe, and they know what's going on a bit more with the team. I think, especially in Vancouver, I feel like we have really good fans that know the game really well. So maybe that's biggest difference. But like living wise, I wouldn't say I notice a huge difference between living in the U.S. or Canada.
You get recognized?
Once in a while, yeah, not a ton, but yeah, sometimes.
That'll change after this podcast, by the way. So.
That's right. Yeah,
totally.
That's right.
Would you put it this way, like comparing the playing in ones like in Canada and the US? I never got to play in Canada, but obviously I'm from here and know it from this side. But to me, like it was always the diehard fans are the same. It's just in a market like Vancouver, it's, I could go in Boston to a outside neighborhood and no one have a clue who I was. But here, like just the sheer volume of fans is there. You don't get away from it as much. Is that is that kind of right?
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. I think, like I feel like especially in Vancouver where there's not a ton of professional teams, like you got the Whitecaps and stuff now, but in terms of kind of the major sports, I guess we're kind of the only ones here. So I feel like there's definitely a lot of, maybe there's more of the diehards, like you said, like there are the diehards in every city, but maybe there's kind of more of them here. And so it's been pretty fun to play here just for a fan base like that really appreciates hockey.
I'm still, I'll be honest, I'm amazed how many people go to the games and you guys are 32nd. The place is full. The place is full. Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah. It's fantastic.
They have supported us really well throughout this year. I think especially the last couple months, once everyone kind of realized where we were at, I think that they've done a really good job supporting us.
What's your goal between now and the end of the regular season?
Just finish strong. Nothing. I don't really put like numbers or anything. So just try to have a good end of the season. Hopefully we can win some games.
20 would be nice.
20 would be nice. Yeah. You said it.
I sense a superstition.
No, not no. I just I don't know.
All right, no
You
problem.
going a little red there. He's like, get me out of here now.
We can do that. Drew, thanks for this.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. That's fun.
That's awesome. Drew O'Connor. Landon and I will be back after this on 100% Canucks.
All right, listen up. Today I want to talk about giving 110%. Giving 100% means giving everything you got. Giving 110% means giving 10% more than is humanly possible. If we're going to win as a team, we need 100% of you guys giving 110% 100% of the time. If only 50% of you guys give 110% and 50% of you guys give 100%, I guarantee you 100%, we'd only win 50% of our games. Suppose 75% of the 110% gave only 50%, and 50% of the 100% gave 25%, and 75% of the 110% were not feeling 100%, then we'd be in a heap of trouble. That's why we need 100% of you guys giving 110% 100% of the time. Okay. Let's go out and play some hockey.
I couldn't even get him to admit that getting 20 goals was exciting.
I liked it. As soon as you pressed harder, his face got even redder. He didn't want to say, what he said, I don't like talking numbers. He really doesn't like talking numbers, I picked up.
But at his age, or not necessarily his age, because he's 27, in his situation, coming to a new team, 20 goals has to be, if he got 20 goals, that's a heck of a story, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he's laughing like that because he knows that he just said, I try not to think in numbers, but 20 is bouncing around in his brain pretty consistently, especially as he got his 14th and his 15th and he's getting closer to it. You definitely know where you're at. But at the same time for him, like he can't think about it. He can't try and press for it. Again, it's not, he's not a Kucherov that's going to go out there and dangle 3 people and go make it happen. For him to get his offense like he has, it's hard work, it's speed, it's not cheating the game, getting to the net front, playing the game right. And he's doing that right now, and he's getting rewarded for it.
You think he uses his size enough?
I think he could use it more, for sure. But at the same time, the way that he does use it, it is good. Like, he understands how to protect a puck. He understands how to manipulate his body to get body position in front of the net or trying to work through the slot. I think he could use it a bit more on the forecheck to get pucks back, not blowing guys up, but just to separate pucks and things like that. I think he could get more efficient at it because he is a good skater.
I know. I think he's the fastest guy on the team, but he wouldn't even comment on that. So,
and again, I almost guarantee if we asked that in front of the other 2 guys, he would have said me 100%. He's being too nice on here.
By the way, he's 6'4", 210, so he's a big boy. And when the Canucks acquired him, of all the guys, Pettersson, Marcus Pettersson was a good ad. But this was a guy, I watched Pittsburgh a lot. I loved the acquisition of Drew O'Connor. I think he can play in Vancouver a long time and be a big difference maker for years.
Yeah, I agree. Again, it's the simplicity of the game. That can be there. That breeds longevity.
Yeah, exactly. And got his degree. His mom and dad are happy. His mom and dad are happy. Thanks for this, Landon.
Yep, have a good one.
Thanks for listening and watching this edition of 100% Canucks.